Hi, Year 7, Mr. Tapley here to walk you through your next lesson of Year 7 Humanities in Week 6 of Term 2. This lesson, we are looking at budgeting. So, our learning intention is to develop our understanding of how to create a budget and how budgeting will help manage our finances and achieve our goals, our financial goals. Those are both things we looked at in our last lesson. So, how to effectively manage our finances, and achieve our personal financial goals. And one of the tips or techniques we learned to effectively manage finances was to create a budget. So that's what we're looking at today. What is a budget? And our success criteria to define a budget. Hopefully, you'll be able to do that by the end of the lesson. Interpret effective and ineffective examples of budgets. So, what does a good budget look like? What does a bad budget look like that's not going to help us manage our finances? And then I'm going to ask you to create appropriate budgets for different scenarios. So everyone has a different income and different expenses. Some people have different jobs. Some people have families of 6 people that they need to feed and clothe and pay for. So not every budget will be appropriate for every family, every individual. So that's what we'll be looking at today. Oops, as I break my laptop. There we go. So what is a budget? To effectively manage our finances and achieve our goals, our financial goals, you will need a budget. A budget is a plan of future income and expenses to assist your financial decision making. So basically, it's a little math equation. It's income, so how much do I earn, minus expenses, so how much do I spend every week, every day, every month, equals savings. So that's how much this budget is going to save me every month. I have this much money left over that I can add to a savings account, or that I can use to buy goods and services to fill my needs and wants, and all that's going to assist us with our finances, managing our money. A budget helps you manage your finances to cover your needs and wants. I just said that. It provides an opportunity to reflect on your spending habits. Many of us don't realize how much we spend on certain things. You might get to the end of the year and you say, "Where did all my money go?" And you'll say, "Oh, I have 6 different streaming subscriptions. I have Netflix and Disney Plus and Hulu and Stan, and all of those seem like they're a very small amount. They're like $9 a month or something." But then that adds up, and you get to the end of the year, and you're like, "Ooh, I wish I had done a budget earlier, so I could have seen this and done something about it." Identifying areas for financial improvement. So instead of getting 2 coffees a day, like Mr. Tabley, you might get something less. So if you plan, practice, and then review your budget, every week or every month, it'll help you complete your financial goals. For example, if Mr. Tapley purchases 2 $4 coffees a day, which is a realistic example, he probably won't think of this as a financial problem. It's $4, that's nothing. I pay with my card on my phone, I just tap it, and it's 3 seconds out of my life, done. However, by completing a budget, he will notice that his coffee spending probably costs him around $240 a month, or almost $3,000 a year. So that's why we complete these budgets. It kind of helps us reflect on the good and the bad of what we're doing with our money, so that we can save money and we can use that money for fulfilling our financial goals. So, I'm giving you guys the step-by-step play on how to create a budget. 4 nice and easy steps here that we'll go through to help you guys manage your finances. So step 1 is identifying your needs and wants. So consider what is essential for your survival, and then what is extra. So these extras can be reduced to lower your expenses. So basically, all of our income, so the money we're earning, is being used to meet our needs and wants. That's what economics is about. We're using money to buy goods and services. So, to determine how much money we need to spend, we need to figure out, well, what are our needs and what are our wants? So I need food. That's probably going to be something I'm spending money on. But do I need YouTube Premium? Do I need an iPhone 8 when I already have an iPhone 6 or something like that? So you make a list of needs and wants, and then you decide, well, what can I get rid of here? Out of the wants column, what is extra? What do I really not need? And then how many extras you remove, it all depends on your income, it depends on your costs, and then it depends on your financial goals. So step 2 is assessing your income. So how much income do I have? Not just how much, but what is the source of your income and how reliable is it? Not it. How reliable is it? So if I have a job at a cafe, a casual job, I might not get the same hours every week. My income will change every week. If I have 3 shifts in 1 week, I'll get X amount of dollars, but if I only have one shift the week after, my income's going to be different. So I need to consider that in my budget. If I have a seasonal job, like I'm working at a ski resort, snowboarding resort, that's not going to provide me with year-long income. So I have to consider that when I'm making my budget. What is my income? Step 3, assess your expenses, so your costs. What costs do you have in the short term, in the long term? What costs occur every week, every month? What costs occur like once every 3 years? So if I make a monthly budget that says, I have this much money and I spend this much, that's how much money I get, super. But in that monthly budget, if I forget about the fact, well, I pay for petrol every month, but I get my car serviced, I go to a mechanic once every 6 months. If I've forgotten about that, and I don't consider that long-term costs in my budget's ruined. So I need to consider all those things. Are these costs fixed, which means that they always occur at the same time with the same price every time, or are they flexible? So for example, if I have a phone plan that pays or costs $40 a month, that's a fixed cost, and that's always going to happen. But if I have a prepaid phone and I only pay for the data and the amount of calls and text messages I use, that might change every month. Some months I might talk to my friends more often, so that's a flexible cost. So I need to consider my expenses. So I've got my needs and wants, I've got my income, I've got my expenses. Now I have to do a math. I apologize. So you calculate your savings, and again, it's a nice simple little equation here. Income minus costs equals savings. That's how much money we have left over, how much we have saved. How much money will you save with this current budget? Do you need to change the budget? So if your cost is higher than your income, you need to go back to the budget. You need to fix that up, because that's not going to work. You'll be losing money every month and you'll run out of money. If my income is $10 higher than my costs, I'm still earning money every month. I still have savings, but is that really going to help me prepare for unexpected expenses? Is that going to help me achieve my financial goals? If my goal at the start of the year is I want to buy a new car, and my budget helps me save $10 a month, I'm not going to buy a new car for $120 at the end of the month. I think that'd be a bit tricky. So do I need to change the budget? So 4 easy steps there for budgeting. So again, real world stuff that you can use outside of the humanities classroom, hopefully. So this lesson, I did have a few extra questions that I was going to have you all look at. But you've been working hard, you've been working well on the digital notebook, on the textbook, on the slides. I'm getting lots of emails that show you guys are actually paying attention to these videos. So I've cut it down to one question, trying to keep you guys not overworked during remote learning. So you've got 4 different scenarios here. Identify the savings in each family scenario budget. So you can see 4 different examples, 4 different case studies. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 families here. You've got Sally and Bob, Ben and Matt, the Smiths, and Janelle. And each of these scenarios gives you a bit of detail, a bit of information about that family. So this person, or this scenario, there's a married couple with no children. Ben and Matt are just housemates. The Smiths are a big family, so they will have more costs probably. And then Janelle is a single mum. Included some pets as well. Not that, pet food, that's a cost you have to consider. I've got 3 dogs, it's very expensive. So what you need to do in each of these scenarios is look at the income. So Sally and Bob earn that much money every fortnight, which is every 2 weeks. A mortgage is, you don't have to get into too much detail on what a mortgage is, but a mortgage is basically how much you pay for your house, to live in your house. So they pay $1,300 a fortnight, so that's a cost that's going in the expenses column. And then bills, so paying for electricity, for the internet, for water, gas, heating, etc., is $1,000. So I've got 2 numbers there. Where's my little mouse? I've lost him. Mouse? There he is. I've got 2 numbers there for income, so it's going to be income minus my expenses, so 1,300 and 1,000 equals savings. So in your digital notebook, you would write Sally and Bob, so family scenario 1, they have this amount of savings every fortnight. Pretty straightforward. And then you do the same thing for each of these 4, and then you're done. And that's all you need to do. You might need a calculator if you've got math skills like Mr. Tapley. Hopefully you can do this without one though. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Best of luck, guys. Cheers.